What is going on, everybody? It is Wednesday. Hopefully everybody's having a great day. Hopefully everybody is doing well. I'm doing good, and I'm in good spirits. I cannot complain. Just working, same old. Still trying to find ways to grind and take care of the family, and I'll say most importantly, just for this channel, be gaming. And I want to talk about that. Gaming, how do you game, and do you have a schedule in gaming, and what that schedule consists of? Because I haven't really had a schedule, and I just started one maybe like a week and a half ago, and it actually done wonders for me. So I'll talk about that. Let me take these glasses off. I'll talk about that, and I'll give my thoughts and opinions on it. So if this is your first time here on the channel, welcome. I really appreciate it. Over here at this channel, we talk about everything gaming and all the other stuff that's under that umbrella. Gaming news, topics, all the other good stuff. Try to put a little perspective on it from a guy who just works and just do the regular guy stuff and play some games. So let's just go ahead and get into it. I always try my best to squeeze gaming in some of the most inopportune times. Like if I would have like a good hour, I'll just run and just try to play a game real quick, because I have a lot of stuff going on, especially with me moving into the new house. I've been trying to do other things outside of just maintaining the game room or the studio, the man cave, whatever you want to call it. I've been doing a lot of other stuff, but I sat down and I said, you know what? I need to come up with a way where I'll make time for myself and just play some video games. And I wonder if other people do that. People who game, how do you game? Why and how is that set up? Because it can be rough, being, a guy that's, a full-grown adult, got responsibilities. I also do content creation, not only on this channel, but on my other channel. And I do a lot of other stuff, outside of, this social media stuff, being a father, being a husband, doing things around the house, stuff like that. But I sat down and said, you know what? I need to just take a time to really carve out some time for myself to play some video games, make sure all my responsibilities are taken care of, and do so. And ever since I've done that, it's been phenomenal. I've been really on, I've been really on a lot of progressions of getting a lot of games done. My backlog is starting to, feel a little bit lighter, because I already know like 2 or 3 games I'm already knocking down. And my schedule basically consists of like maybe 2 hours, maybe an hour out of the day at the most, and I carve that time out just for me. And it's usually like once I've done everything throughout the day, whether after work, I done things around the house, I get everybody else in around the house good. They're, they don't need me for anything, and I just go into my game room and I've been playing games, and it's just been absolutely amazing. And it feels better too once you get it kind of lined up that way, because once you get it lined up that way, you don't have any responsibilities to worry about that's in the back of your mind while you're playing your video games. You have everything set up to where everybody's taken care of, you're taking care of all the things you had to do around the house is taken care of, and you're able to have fun and enjoy yourself. You work hard, you play hard, and that's something that's been kind of missing for the last year or so. Because even when I was back in South Carolina, I didn't necessarily have a schedule, because I worked like this, this odd schedule to where some days I'll be off almost like 4 or 5 days out of the week. Some days I work like 3 12-hour shifts, or I work a 4 12-hour shift, and I usually have like days on end where I would just play games. But now I work a regular, 5 days a week, and I had to set the schedule up, and it's been wonders. I've been really tackling maybe like 3 games at a time now, because I carved out that time just for me. And the thing about that is, it's very satisfying. Like I said, when you're able to take care of your responsibilities and you have time for yourself, and when you have a hobby like video games, it's very tough for anyone to really criticize, when you have things done. It's not like anybody criticizes me anyway. My wife's always, she's very supportive of what I do. But once I get all the content creation out the way, any ideas I got, stuff I got to do around the house, regular stuff, make sure my son is good, make sure he doesn't need anything, I don't have to go out and do any other things that I need to go buy or pick up, or any errands I got to run. At least, and it's not an everyday thing, but at least maybe 4 days out of the week, and that that's really good. 4 to 5 days out of the week, I can literally like sit down and just play a game. All the other times, content creation, going live, all that stuff. That's a part of the gaming side of things, in my opinion, and it kind of made me more focused on this channel, and I'm really enjoying that, to the point where this may become my primary channel, and First and Frame Rates may flip and turn into the secondary channel, because the stuff I talk about over there is more like sports related, and football season is not in all year round, so but I can game every day, all day, you know what I mean? So it works out perfectly, and I'm a gamer first before anything when it comes to this content creation thing, before anything is social media wise. Even my family and friends knew ever since I've been like 5, I've been playing with a gaming controller, on some video game. So this is my passion at the end of the day. And outside of actually driving trucks, like I love driving trucks and all this other stuff, I love this as an occupation. But when I come home, man, I love playing video games, and the best way to love your hobby and love your passion, you have to make sure all your other ducks in a row. And being an adult, that's basically what it entails of. Is it all fun? No, it's not fun being an adult and doing all the things, and sometimes it's tiresome. But the best thing in the world is making sure, not to get too philosophical, making sure all your stuff is taken care of, making sure your family's taken care of, they don't need nothing, they don't want for nothing, and then you can sit back and just relax and do what you love to do as far as your hobby goes. It's the best feeling in the world, man, where you have all your ducks in a row and you're able to play video games. You don't have to worry about anything distracting you, or you don't have to stress about anything, or there's very little stress, because we all stress about something, right? But it's always something where it doesn't have to be that way if you have everything lined up. Now, I will say this before I leave. I know everybody don't have it like that. Everybody don't have their, their priorities together, and it's not necessarily their fault in most cases. But I challenge anyone to do so. Get yourself in order, because this gaming thing is a lifestyle. It's not necessarily, it can be a hobby, and if it's a hobby to you and you just casually do it, that's fine. But for me, this hobby is a lifestyle, and this is what I like to do every day. And if I can do it every day, I will. Sometimes I fall asleep early because I'm tired, but that's another story. But if I can, I will pick up a controller every day and play a video game. But I understand that I gotta have my ducks in a row. I gotta have everything lined up properly to make sure I don't have to be worrying about everyday regular life and having to worry about that and talking about gaming, because that doesn't necessarily line up. But if you don't have it like that, I highly encourage you to do so. It's one of the best feelings you can, when you can take control of your own time, albeit if you're working a 9 to 5 or a 12-hour shift, or you're working overnight, or whenever you're working and you got to take care of your household or whatever. If you really love playing video games, and if you really love taking care of yourself, have that stuff in order. The worst thing is trying to sneak and play a video game. You got other stuff you got to do. It's pretty rough, to be honest. So hopefully y'all guys understand where I'm coming from. It has been the greatest week and a half that I've had playing games since I've actually came up with a schedule to actually play and have a hobby that I can actually do. It's been fantastic. And hopefully you guys, if you do have your schedule that way, let me know what it is. Put it down in the description box. Let me know what you think about this, and what's your schedule like. Do you have one, or whatever the case may be? And I think this may be a topic that we could talk about later on. I may go live and talk about this. I think this is a really good topic to have, because a lot of us that are, you know, of, you know, an adult and, you know, in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, you know, they have a lot of stuff going on, and what can you do to alleviate that so you can have time for yourself? And I think that's really important, you know. But we'll talk about that at a later time. Let me know what y'all think. I'm gonna get up out of here. I got to get back on this road, and I'll see y'all on the next one. All right, y'all, I'm out. Peace.